and welcome to Blog TV. Tonight we're going to be discussing exactly how far bloggers will go in order to garner hits online.
Yep, and one video in particular that was actually posted up on the internet created quite an uproar. In fact, let me just get to the website. We had on her blog, The Dowager, blogger Peggy Heng actually put up a video of herself simulating a sexual act. She didn't actually do it. But it was actually used to, I just thought I had to lay it there, but it was used to promote a dating event, encouraging youths to boost their social life. Was this done just to get hits?
Definitely not. Of course, partially, I will definitely know that, there will be more hits coming in since, you will create such an uproar. But the initial idea is to actually, respond to the netizens online because they were the one who commented, asking me to perform this oral sex, to exchange for the video.
No, but the thing is, this is for a dating event that's targeted at the youths. Where did you get this idea? Did you think it was the right thing to do?
Well, because social issues, right, if you are targeting the youths, they will not have that sort of attention that you want, Their attention span is really very short. So they will not pay much attention to, like, a video that is targeted on education. They get bored of it.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. I mean, obviously the video, guys, by the way, if you do want to actually see it, you can go over to blogtv.sg where you'll actually find a link to the page to actually see the video for yourself. But once again, the video actually, it simulates a sexual act. How does this actually relevant to the dating event that you were trying to promote? Okay,
that one, the portion is actually a response to netizens online because they left comments asking me to remove the video by performing an oral sex on the person that posted it.
So, okay, speaking of response, let me get the responses from everyone else in the couch. Do you think it was appropriate for this event? Do you think it was just sensationalism? What do you think?
Well, let's start with Pete.
Yeah, I think as long as you're true to yourself, I think it's okay. Having said that, you must think about, the future. What does it mean when you're trying to get a job, if things are stuck online? As far as promoting an event, every blogger for himself, really.
Okay, and what about you, Kristen?
I think it is sensationalism, but you kind of do it to promote stuff, and that's what she was doing.
Maybe you should just lean back. Yes, you're saying?
To be honest,
yes, you do think
to be honest, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen
no.
it? Okay, well, you can go to the blogtv.sg website and look for the link after this.
Yep, probably.
What do you think? Do you think it's something that works?
I think it's something that works, but more than working from the dating agency, I think it works more for Peggy because it gets her more visibility than perhaps the dating agency. So it sort of hijacked the whole thing and worked for Peggy, but maybe not for the dating agency.
Peggy, what do you think of what
I think at the end of the day, it's your true agenda. And if I continue, to come up with more events and things like that, people will soon be, like they will believe in me and they will be persuaded.
Okay, but I mean, like you would probably be inspired to come up with more events, but does that also mean you're going to have to come up with more creative ways to plug your events? And that could possibly also mean that you might have to come up with a little bit more explicit videos.
Definitely not. I do not think that only explicit videos will attract people's attention, as long as things that are related to feelings, we want to affect people's feelings, make them feel like, they are angry, they're upset, things like that, so that they'll leave comments.
Okay, well, I mean, the word tasteless has come out a few times. I mean, obviously you do realize some of the negative reactions that your blog actually garnered based on that video. Would you consider this post actually tasteless, Pete?
I wouldn't say tasteless. Like I said, everyone to themselves.
But yes or no? Yes or no?
You can't sit on the fence. You've got to give us a yes or no answer.
No, it's not tasteless.
Okay, what about you, Kirsten?
I think it's tasteless.
It's tasteless. Shalu?
I think tasteless for some is creative genius for others, but in this case, I personally don't think it's
okay,
tasteless.
So define tasteless. Peggy?
Yeah, exactly. How do you define tasteless?
What is your definition?
People have mentioned that, Jack Neo's movie is tasteless, but it attracts people. People still go for the show, but that's the most important thing, right? It's entertainment at the end of the day.
Okay, but what would you define tasteless as?
Personally?
Tasteless. I think that there's no agenda and there's no meaning behind the entire thing. And, you do it just to probably... I don't think there's any story behind it.
Agenda? But I mean, anyone could say, okay, I could put this out, and I have an agenda. So
True.
that would mean no limits.
I agree.
Do you have limits?
Yeah, definitely.
What
I
are
know
your
my
limits?
Because I would think that I would not go to that kind of extent of showing nudity or anything that is related.
So that's your limit.
Of course.
No nudity.
Yeah,
Anything
no
else?
nudity. Things that will affect my family members, my loved ones.
So this video did not affect your family members in any way?
Definitely not. They laughed it off.
Well, we'll actually find out personally in a while, okay? But what about you, Pete? What is your limits?
what are your
What you
limits?
post?
Well, actually, I've got a question just in regards to your family. I mean, obviously you're young. What about as you get older and you have your own children and they do a Google search? Because I searched Google Peggy Heng,
Yeah.
right? And Peggy Heng, and straight away it said scandal, sex videotape, and all these things came up. What if you got kids that sort of in the future do this? Does that concern you at all?
Well, definitely that will be in the future. But when they search on it, I will be able to, educate them and let them know. Of course, they will find out that that is not the truth, right?
Okay.
And
All right,
if
well-
they have my genes, I think they will understand that it's
There you
just
go.
something.
I'll tell you what, let's take a look at the Singapore Blog Awards and we'll find out from you guys whether or not you consider this actually tasteless. These are some entries for the best modeling blog and just take a look at the first image, guys. Tasteless or not tasteless? Pete, what do you think?
Not tasteless.
Not tasteless.
Not tasteless.
Why not?
I mean, it's just a bit of skin. If there was full frontal nudity, it might be different, but it's,
Okay. What about, let's ask Shalu, what do you think?
No, it's definitely not tasteless. It's for a particular target audience, and I'm sure they enjoy this.
Kirsten, what do you think?
I don't think it's tasteless because it's for the modeling awards, and I guess that's kind
Okay.
of the type of modeling she does.
Yeah, I do not think it's tasteless. I mean, it can be better portrayed, but
Okay.
definitely not.
All right, let's go back to my initial question. Pete, what are your personal limits?
my limits, anything that would hurt my family ultimately, or things I might be worried about my children seeing, maybe even my mum back home. She looks at my blog as well. I wouldn't want to embarrass that. And also, I don't want to push the limits too much as a foreigner in Singapore. I want to keep integrating quite well, so I'm not going to push the limits on, trying to slam Singaporeans or things.
All right, well, let me ask Kirsten. Now, Kirsten, you actually write a political blog, so a lot of it possibly not very many pictures or, there's similar types of content. But your opinions, what are the limits on what you would actually post?
As long as I can back it up, so I don't just slander people and come up with random rumors to slam people. As long as I can answer for it myself at the end of the day, so I don't kind of hurt my own integrity.
Okay. Coming up in a little while, we're going to find out exactly what internet users want. But first, one last question before we go for a commercial break. Peggy, seriously, how far would you go when it comes to blogging?
Well, to that kind of extent that, I have done my research well enough and I know that I'm well protected and I'm safe, that, I will not affect my family members, of course, and also regards to the law, I will not touch anything that is close to that, making sure that I'm safe.
What's the
What's
furthest
the
you've gone?
furthest that you've gone, though?
Furthest that I've gone, the video, definitely.
That's the furthest?
Yeah,
you reckon
that's
you'll
the
go further in the future? Possibly? Is there a further?
No, well, I can't say it for sure now. Yeah, so
Are you keeping an open mind about this?
definitely, but I wouldn't go to that kind of extent that it's extremely explicit. So yeah.
Okay, still lots more to speak about, but we're going to go for a really quick break right here on Blog TV. When we come back, we're going to be finding out exactly what internet users,
What they actually want? What
such
they want
as
to see?
ourselves, would
Yeah.
actually like to see. And in the meantime, tweet us.